Hey everybody, we are back for another week of Tai Chi. So glad to have you back, my regulars, and if you're new, thanks for exploring something different. You can just dip in and see what we're up to, and if it's not to your liking, that's okay. If you were completely new to Tai Chi, I would say this might be, we're not going to go into like a lot of super basic descriptions, but you could probably figure it out. So, I don't know. So let's switch. So the moon's full. We're doing yet another set of lunar movements today. So let's switch from this circular to Huang Xinjiang's loosening exercise number 1 of 5. It's more flat. So this is, I'm not being loose here, I'm just showing you what's going on. See how flat this is? So two-dimensionality, okay, now I'll do it more loose. Okay, so two-dimensionality is one of the qualities of yin or the moon, as opposed to three-dimensionality, like the way I was flinging my arms around before. So I'm trying to be as loose as possible. Obviously, tension is the enemy of our Tai Chi practice, so I'm just trying to release tension here. If you start out with tension, good. At least you have something to work on, right? So if this movement is not coming to you easily, then just keep working on it. That's why we do it, right? No one is expected to come to their Tai Chi practice with any previous aptitude at all. In fact, I would hope it would be the opposite. I hope that people with bad balance come here to improve their balance, and people that are super tense come here to try to learn to relax or just to let go of their tension, right? We're not looking for naturals. There's no one here in any class I've ever, well, usually young people look like they have natural ability, because they do, but that's because they're young. And every now and then you'll find somebody that seems to have an intuitive understanding of these things, and good for them, right? But we don't, but generally that's not the case. Okay, so let's do some shoulder rolls. Let's go forward. So as I promise always, this is not meant to be a COVID diary, but COVID is the reason why we're doing videos and not here in person. The governor, extended the shutdown an extra 2 weeks. He says he's going to reevaluate it every 2 weeks. So who knows? Maybe by the next full moon, maybe we'll be back together in some sort of a limited fashion. No one is going to get left behind. The high-risk people, I'll still be making videos for you. Maybe it'll be a video of the people in the class. Let's go backward. Rotate the shoulders backward, first just for articulation, but then we'll loosen. So remember Huang Xinjiang's loosening exercise number 2. You don't do both shoulders simultaneously. You rotate them each individually, and then just loosen this up. You can let your arms swing. So if somebody walked by the dojo, they'd think that I was swinging my arms. They wouldn't see the shoulder rotation, right? But it's mainly shoulder rotation, and then your arms are expressing the rotation of the shoulders. So I've got like 3 topics I'm talking about all at once. The one thing I started out to say was that if I don't appear as loose today, it's not my back, it's my knee. I twisted my knee. So the reason I mention it is not that it matters that I twisted my knee. It's that if you have a hard time doing your movements very smoothly, that could be due to pain. or previous injury, right? So, and when we're back as a class, if I'm ever picking on you about not doing something right, if you're limited by some type of injury or pain, well then you got to let me know, because even things like the way we walk is affected by pain, and you may be holding pain with you as part of your normal life, and you almost forget it. So you don't even forget to let people know. So let's do our neck. Let's work up to our neck. This is not qigong or anything. We're just we're loosening the neck in three axes: sagittal, transverse, and then look straight ahead. This is the frontal plane. So I'll stick with you in this video here today as long as I can. It's 95 degrees in here right now. If I pass out, when I go back and edit the video, I will put it in slow motion for you so you can watch me lose consciousness in slow motion, go whoa. And but no, I really love it here. I mean, that's the reason I live in Tucson, because I love the heat. So okay, so let's start out with some lunar qigong. Oh, the other thing I was going to say, we'll start out with an easy one and then maybe get a little more complex. Okay, so this one is called caressing the moon. I've seen this done a number of ways. I like it as an asymmetrical movement. It can be, and I'll show you what I'm saying. We start out with this ball. Orange is right. So my orange hand, my right hand is on top. It doesn't really matter, but once we get going. But so you start out with this ball. Let me drop my hands too, so that the bottom hand is down at the bottom of the dantian. Well, you can imagine your dantian different sizes depending on who you are, but let's just say I'm here. And the moon is usually represented as smaller than sun type things, but this is going to spiral outwards and then reform much larger. Okay, and then spiral back around and then compress back small. Okay, and then switch your hands. So there's a lot going. It looks simple, but there's a lot going on here. And then so small to large, any size. I mean, I'm not going to quibble about the size here. And then large, and then compressing small, and then switch your hands, and then compress big. So I'm going to add a neat little thing here that we started to talk about a few weeks ago, I think. Is this counter rotation. So if my hands, and I'll stop just for a second, if my hands are about to go like this, if I counter rotate first a little bit, so counter rotate to get things started, and then come out, it feels really good. And then compress down to here. Instead of just going like this, I start by counter rotating. It's great. It's really neat. And you'll notice that you'll find this either implicit or explicit in a lot of moves. And so little counter rotation. It's just sort of, it primes the pump. It gets things going. It tells your body not the direction of the movement, it tells your body the form of the movement, and then so it's like compressing a spring. Well, I don't know if that's a good analogy, but so are you getting this? I hope I'm not over explaining it. When you guys do this okay, I'm going to switch my hands and then counter rotate. So you can do this little bit of counter rotation or counter movement. Anytime you feel it, you can do it. So you don't have to wait for me to say it. So I'll give you an obvious example. Let's switch our hands. Let's just do one more of these. Okay, so instead of just immediately going like this, I go like this first. So I wind myself up and then unwind. So analogies. We can't stop up here. We have to, wait, let me show you again. So there. So pre-twisting, pre-stretching, you find it all throughout things. So, so you guys come to just meditate while I give you some examples. So for instance, in engineering, you have pre-stressed concrete, right? So it's already counterbending, and then when it's loaded, it's going to come down to here, right? You have basketball player on the free throw line. Do they just shoot? No, they do a little pre-circle to get the circular movement going, because there's going to be a big circle coming up through their body to make this. If they try to do a free throw just with their hands and arms, they would miss every time. But so it's that circular movement. That's just a couple of analogies, and I'm sure I could think of more. But say something in your form. Here's a popular one. We do a white snake darts out its tongue punch, right? And we've explained this punch in many different ways, but you'll find in some forms a little bit of a circle here before anything happens, and then boom, right? That's a great analogy, because that's hidden, and that not many forms are taught that way, but you will find them taught that way, and it's a really neat thing. So you were saying to yourself, this caressing the moon looks similar to something we've done. And yes, it does. It looks similar to plucking stars. So I'll show you the difference, though. So in plucking stars, we're going to turn our palms outward, and that's going to add tremendous twisting and stretching that we didn't have. There's not much twisting and stretching going on here. There's some stretching, but not as much. You'll see. Watch this. Okay, so we're here, and stars are lunar in their aspect as well, even though they're little suns. Don't tell anyone. Okay, so roll this palm down, so see stretching and twisting. Roll this palm up, and then look in the direction that your upper fingers is pointing. Oh man, everything is twisting and turning now, and this feels a lot different than what we just did, right? This caressing the moon, it was more nurturing, more, so switch your hands. Okay, let's just do the bottom palm. We could do it simultaneously, but just do one at a time. Bottom palm down, top palm up, look in the direction of the fingers, right? And again, it could all happen simultaneously, but why not? So I hope you feel all that twisting and turning. So let's just do it one more on each side. Guys, just switched my hands, no big deal. Roll that bottom hand down, top hand up. Look in the direction. We're going to do other things that are similar to this movement. It's no accident that these are themes, right? Okay, I think if we do one more, we'll be even on both sides. So roll that down, roll that up, look this way. So you should, just to be sure, you should, if you're not feeling a good twisting and pulling through here, then roll this up a little higher, pull this over maybe. Yeah, that's great. Okay, excellent. Okay, good. You guys might not need water yet, but I do. Okay, so let's compare two more very similar comparison. Cradling the moon against the chest. Okay, I'm going to have to start on my good knee. This is done in an empty stance, which is also yin, right? So I'm on my back on my good knee. palms are facing inward, right? So this is sort of like very nurturing. There's no real stretching here, but there's good structure. This is really good form. Elbows are slightly heavy, slightly sunken. The fingers aren't really touching. I'm sinking into my back leg. This foot is empty. We'll do a balance later, so don't worry about picking this foot up. If we do it on one side, well, let's see. Let me show you what I was going to... Well, no. Let's do it on both sides so you can, at the risk of getting too close to the camera, I can go here. Okay. And this is actually oblique. I'm not doing it obliquely just to show you. You did one that way and one this way. So, and this is for meditation, but I can't shut up. I have to keep talking. But you guys are meditating. And my voice is you can just barely hear it, but your main focus is on feeling your body. And you can just hear me yammering in the background. But if you guys want a more meditative experience, you can pause. Remember, you can always pause. Okay, good. So we're going to contrast that. So that's asymmetrical because we're in those empty stances, but then a symmetrical pose, because I was saying before, I prefer the Qigong that's asymmetrical, especially if it gets your legs more involved. So we can do Bagua, embracing palms. Okay. See, I had my shoulders way up like this. Drop my shoulders. And the same circle here, but turning the palms out gives that twisting and stretching through the fascia that we like so much, right? So you probably can't see, it's black palm against black outline of the body, so it's something like that. And then from here, it's like that. You don't need to see my feet, so I can get much closer. Yeah, like that. Okay, good. So, and then one other one. Very simple, sort of Qigong or static movement. So that could be Zhan Zhuang or Ding Shi. Observe the moon. From another Qigong tradition is just take this Bagua, moon embracing palms, and just lift it up. Not too high, just like so. And then you can make your moon a little bit bigger in this case if you want. Open your arms a little wider. Got that? I may be sinking a little deeper than I need to. You know, a lot of Qigong is done perfect, almost completely standing straight up. But I just like to keep my legs involved. By the end of our class today, your legs are going to be exhausted. There's a couple of really good leg things, good for strengthening the legs and good for your balance too. All right, good, excellent. That's a great one. So we can get moving again now that we've done two static positions. Okay, so we've done 4 or 5 animals that like to gaze at the moon. The first one I ever showed you is most popular. It's called Rhinoceros Gazes at the Moon. And the reason I'm telling you about it is that I always told you that as we turn, so we would start here, and we would turn, and the act of turning draws our weight over towards this leg. And that's true in a lot of things, but every rule has an exception. So the reason I like monkey gazes at the moon is because it's the opposite. As I turn, let's see. So we're not going to hold a ball. Well, I don't know. You got to start somewhere. Okay. So let's make little monkey pause. Okay. Remember, no tension in your fist. Okay. Little monkey pause. Okay. And then I'm going to turn to my right, but shift my weight left and bring it's either the back of my hand or my wrist to my temple or the side of my face. It's not that big of a deal, but what's going on in the back is more interesting. This is just nestled in the small of my back. I guess I'm gonna go, I'll go obliquely away from you. And so my weight, if this is my right hand, this is my left hand, my weight is in my left foot, right? So what are we gonna do now? We're gonna switch sides, right? With a nice circular movement. And as my hands come up, my chi raises, I may as well step my foot up, right? And then we can even go around more than a full revolution. So I'm turning left, my weight is right, and my weight is forward slightly. Okay, so let's do this again. So up, step up, and around. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Okay, and I got so relaxed I forgot to gaze at the moon. I'm gazing up at the moon. Okay, very playful pose. People add a lot of monkey embellishments to this. Here we go, here we go, here we go. So the arms come up, may as well step as long as my chi just raised up. Come around, here we go, here we go. And I'll remember, this is so relaxing that I was closing my eyes, but I need to look over my shoulder here. Sorry, you guys. Boy, I get really relaxed. I love this stuff. I just love this stuff. I can do this all day. And I'm not going to mention any names, but I know someone that since the shutdown, they've had more free time and they've just done so much work on their qigong. It's just really gratifying. They're not doing our practice, they're doing their own thing, but it's still really great. Okay, how about one more on each side? So here we go. You're starting to get the hang of it now, aren't you? Yeah, okay, good. I don't want to get too far away from you. So that's a neat one. Okay, that's a really neat one. We've done rhinoceros, cat. So this is monkey. What else did we do? Later we'll do unicorn. You'll love unicorn. Okay, so now we're going to work our legs. And as I mentioned, I twisted my knee, so you're in luck. We're not going to go all the way down to the floor, you guys. But we could, and I'm going to break this down to make this nice and easy for you, right? So it's called Holy Crane Worships the Moon. And this is very rare. It's part of the Shibashi set, but it's the other Shibashi set. So the easiest way to explain this to you, we're going to be going from side to side. And let's call this my outside leg. If I'm standing here, left and right don't matter. This is my outside leg, outside being that way, inside being here. My outside, or it also happens to be closer to you. So you could say this is the closer leg or the outside leg. And it's always, the outside leg is always going to be closer to you. And then we're going to step back and sink down. But we're sinking into our forward leg. This is where you could drop all the way down to the mat. Now you don't think you can do it, but you actually can. But the way you would do it is, in the Chinese martial arts, there's this special sinking where they bring, I'm showing you something here, they bring this knee over to this side of the leg. Oh man, if my knee didn't hurt so bad I could show you it. Anyway, you come back to here, and now you can go way down. But don't worry about it. I'm not going to go way down, but I'm just showing you. You could go all the way down to the ground here, and we do it in our form. Well towards the end. Okay, so this is the white crane. worshiping the moon. How are we going to get to the other side? Drop your hands, come up, step over, and then back. I'm stepping back, and my weight is in this forward leg. We're calling this the outside leg, or closer to you. So I'm breaking this down. I'll break it down a couple more times before we attempt to do it nice and smooth. So hopefully your legs are really burning. This is good, really good. Okay, so drop the hands, step over. All right, you can't see my knees anymore, but look, I'll show it to you. So we haven't started going real smooth yet. See, this knee is that over on that side. It's not right behind it. If right behind it is okay for our purposes, but it's certainly not on this side. It's over here. And that's what enables you to drop down. Believe me, I'll show you some other time. So, so we come up and over. So this is starting to feel good. Okay, so now we'll just do whatever you can do, but just try to make it a little smoother. You're not supposed to, when I said your legs are hurting, I don't mean hurting, I mean you can feel your muscles working. That's all I mean. There's no pain, right? And you have nothing to prove to anyone. You're probably alone, so don't try to do too much. Please, please, please. But you can imagine, and remember, the weight's in the forward leg, and that's how you're pressing back up. Here to here. So why don't I be quiet and just do 2 more sets? And this is really good for your legs, guys. You'll thank me. If you don't hurt you anything, you'll thank me. Beautiful. I love this. Oops. I went up. I'm sorry. Got to go down and down. Just to make up for that misstep, do a couple more. Down. So you don't have to really sink down too far to get that feeling. Oh, it feels great. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. And that's with a bad knee too, right, you guys? So, you know what I think? I think we've earned ourselves a break. We'll come back and do our form, and then I have more lunar movements for you. If you don't like the form, there's other. We'll do a stepping, we'll do unicorn, looks at the moon, and that is a stepping movement that anyone can do. But remember what we've been doing with the form is I'm going to take my water break, or take a water break, but then you can hit pause right now and you can do your form by yourself with no video. Wait till you get to the point, it may be the second move, it may be the first move. Wait till you get to a real head scratcher where you just don't know what foot does what hand goes where, and then that will be the question in your mind that you will answer when you watch, okay? And so we will be right back. Don't go too far away. Okay, welcome back from our water break. Wait a minute, what are you doing over there? Oh, okay. We're going to film our form from a different angle each week so that you can see, you can pick up on little things that you don't normally notice. And you'll never see videos done this way, but if you think about it, in class, you're doing this yourself by where you choose to stand. So it's not unreasonable to have the camera in a strange angle. So let's review before we do our form. This little thing that we were doing here where we stepped behind and sank down. This is very Chinese, this leg crossing. It's not done in all martial arts. And we have a little bit of this in our form. We do this little side step say you can just step your foot up like this, coming up into here into our shoulder strike, or you can step back, or you can step behind. It's the same type of a thing, right? So this is our shoulder strike. We're holding our partner's elbow up here. That's what this hand is doing here. So I'm just doing it over and over again. So this sort of stepping, it's not that fancy. You can sink down lower, and let's go, if we go one way, we should go the other way. This is not exactly what we were doing before, but it's similar. It's getting this idea of not being afraid of letting this knee cross over, right? It's this idea of getting your legs like that. And when they scissor like that, they can actually do more. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. I see people in the gym, and they do what's called farmer's carry with weights, and they do a lunge, and then they sink down, and then they come back up, and they do another lunge, and they sink down, and they come back up. Well, I can't do this, imagine heavy weights too, but if you step out, cross your foot, and then allow this knee to drop back in behind the leg, you can go a lot further down. And you're using, I think you're using better muscles here, and the twisting and untwisting. So you're twisting and untwisting, and you'd come up to here. So we'll do something like this after our form. And I wish my knee was better. I could show you, I could drop all the way down. But this very linear farmer's carry, the muscles simply are not wrapped around your legs in straight lines. So to encourage this twisting is to use your muscles in a better way. And so anyway, but don't take my word for it. We'll do it after our form. So I'm going to head south away from you. No offense, I'm going to turn my back on you. Oh, and one thing that I didn't mention in the first part of the video is that this is the 5th set of lunar movements that we've done. I've been heaping a lot onto you for novelty to keep, I want every video to be different, right? But maybe starting next full moon, whether we're here together or whether we're just doing a video, we're going to need to go back and review because we've done a lot. I've given you a lot to do, and we need to add more depth. We can't just do these movements on such a superficial level. We have to add a little more depth to them. We're going to let you practice them more. If we were in class together, I could do corrections. I can't. All I can do is imagine corrections, which I don't mind doing. Okay, so let's do our form. No, I tell you what, we're going to start with the B side, and then I'll do the A side. From this angle, I found out that I can do the A side almost infinitely, or I mean, I can do the A side with the transition almost infinitely and never run into any walls or leave the frame. But the B side, I believe I can just do once. So we'll do the B side once, and then we'll do the A side with transitions several times. And here we go. Shift your weight. Oh, the other thing is, so maybe you tried your form during the break, and you got to your question mark point. Remember, the question marks are very simple. Don't overthink this. It's just which foot is forward, which foot is back. Is the weight forward, is the weight back, right? What is my hand doing? Is it generally up, generally down? Is it forward, back? Just rough it out. That's all you're expected to do, is rough it out. The subtleties we'll add later. And then when you memorize things, it makes it just that much easier, and you can focus on how your body's feeling, which is the most important part of all this. I'll take a little sip of water. Oops, maybe I won't. Yeah, I will. So the other part about doing the form off of a video is that you're going to turn away from your device so often. I feel really bad. There's nothing I can do about that. It's Just do the best you can. Shift your way. So then some of you also are going to be doing this without looking, just listening to the sound of my voice. Listening for clues. I can't possibly describe everything we're doing, but I can give you little clues. So we're shifting, start off shifting to our left foot, step the right foot back. As we shift back, we turn right. And then we're going to step the left foot all the way back, come into dragon pose, and go into single whip. Left hand is closed, right hand is open, left hand moves left, right hand moves forward. Continue to twist around to my left, step around and strike a tiger. And then continue to turn left. That should pull your left foot in and back. It should pull the right hand back and down. And then I'm going to head forward from here on, shifting my weight, the hand forward and up. And then here's this little step. If you want to do it, you don't have to. And then transition into a shoulder strike. My hand's down here. If my partner was here, my hand would have to be up here. Regardless, pivot around, draw the bucket from the well, shift back, hands up in front of you, left palm up, right palm down, pivot to the right, step left foot in and back, and this is our downward push. And then white snake darts out its tongue. And so I'm going to stop here because if I continue on, I'm going to go off frame, or you won't be able to see either my head or my feet. So let's do the A side from here. Another sip of water. We'll start to do the A side. And the A side, just coincidentally, geometrically, we'll be able to do it, transition over and over again. So I hope this is not tedious for you. Okay, here we go. A side. Shift your weight right. Empty that left foot. Slide it up audibly. Left hand comes up at the level of your own chin. Step through. So the white snake spits out its tongue. The left arm comes around. Reach up to touch 7 stars of the Big Dipper, and then the left foot comes up partially, fist back down by your head. This is carry hammer. Shift back, hold the ball. This is our white crane. One hand up, and then one hand down, pivoting right, and then white ape swings through branches, shifting left, but not too far left. Shift back right, pivot the left foot, step up and over, shift right, shift back left, elbow strikes the heart, shift back right, ring the gong. So I'm facing, did a whole turn, and then step around, strike a tiger, and then a little bit obliquely, strum the lute. Now this is our biggest pivot. Pivot to the right foot as far around as is comfortable. And then inspect horse's mouth. Okay, so we can continue on from here, transition back to the B side. Just out of curiosity, you don't have to do this, but the next move, if we weren't going to transition, would be to pivot, step in. So I drop my arms, step in, step up, step in, step up. This is all done quickly in real life. And this is called pluck and rend. Pluck down, rend here. And then, this is for Ralph. And then push through mountain. But no, we're not going to do the whole form. We're going to transition back to the B side. So we were at inspect horse's mouth, weren't we? Yeah. Okay. So a half step back, and the arms come out and down. This is entwining. Entwining with the right hand. And then, remember, single whip. So as we go around again the second time, a little bit less instruction. Strike a tiger. Pull and push, 2 separate movements with one name. And then there's that fancy step through into shoulder strike, shift back, hold that hoop, pivot around, draw the bucket from the well, shift back, hands up. This is our downward push, just this sinking downward push. Roll the left palm under. You're coming up underneath your partner's elbow. That's why we roll that hand under. And then come around to 7 stars. Carry hammer. White crane. See how the bottom hand replaces the top hand, and we twist, and then white eight swings through branches. And this hand can come behind me if I wanted to just get crazy. I would need a second person to describe, to show what I'm doing there. It's called wrap across. Shift right, shift back left. It's not a very pretty name. Draw the bucket from the well. It's a Master Yan push hands specialty. Strum the loop. Inspect horse's mouth. See, look, I can even do it again. Oh my goodness. Are we going crazy now? When does it stop? Ralph is in heaven. Everyone else is having a water break. Pull and push. I'll just keep going until I feel I'm going to be off of the frame. Draw the bucket from the well. Downward push. You can tell I'm going a little faster. White snake darts out his tongue. I'm pretty much right where I started from. This could go on forever, right? Okay, we've got to stop. This could go on forever because I could go around several more times. Have a little sip of water. And then, for those of you who are not practicing the form a lot lately, we still have stepping exercises because you really just, I don't want you to just stand around and do Qigong all day. As much as I like it, it's not good enough for your legs, right? So we have stepping exercises that anyone can do. This is another lunar movement. This is unicorn, gazes at the moon. It's also, there's a variant where you don't look back, and it's more of a forward movement. I mean, everything is forward. And it's also done as Zhan Zhuang without even stepping. Right? So there's 3 options. What is he talking about? I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's compare it to rhinoceros gazes at the moon, because that's the one we've done the most. Rhinoceros gazes at the moon. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't have my gloves. Oh, I'm so sorry, no gloves. Okay. All right, so remember, this is red, orange is red, is right. So rhinoceros gazes at the moon, goes like this, something like that. So we're going to start out here with our right hand, lift the right foot up. This is our balance for the day. And then step that foot down, and then turn to our right, and I'm gazing back, unicorn's gazing back at the moon. I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do that again from a different angle. So I'm not saying it's the same as the rhinoceros at all, I was just comparing, okay? So, a couple things you need to see. So I pick if this is my right hand on top, I pick my right foot up, and I bring it down deliberately diagonally. I'm going to turn to my right, looking up at the moon. Now, where's my weight? My weight is forward. And with my legs zigzaggy like this, I can drop this knee down, and I could actually rest it on my foot if my knee wasn't twisted. But this is plenty, right? So, and then you feel that good stretch there. You can bring your heel up, I don't care. But you can get more stretch if you keep it down. Doesn't matter to me. Now, how are we going to get out of this? Well, we'll get out of it the same way that we got out of the rhinoceros, is scoop this hand under, hold the ball. Left hand on top means that the left foot is going to come up. Balance here. And when you're ready, set that foot down, zigzaggy, turn. Shift your weight forward, please. Maybe at least 60-40, maybe 70-30. Okay, scoop that left hand under. Hold the ball. Right hand is on top, which means the right foot comes up. It stomps down. And we turn. This is beautiful. It feels really good. Hope you like it. Hope it's not too confusing. Scoop the right hand under. If the left hand's on top now, that must mean that the left foot is going to come up. Hold it here. See how it's zigzag? It's not like this. It's across like this, down and up. Okay. So I'm afraid I'm about to. If I do one more, you're going to lose me in the view. But I'll just do one more. And then I'm going to turn around. And then we can do, so now let's do it a little smoother before I confuse things and give you a variation. But where were we? We were, now it's going to look slightly different from this view. So my holding a ball with my right hand on top, so that must mean my right foot comes up. And we'll go a little smoother, so we won't hold the balance as long. I'll show you some Zhan Zhuang that you can break this apart later into separate movements. But we better get started. I'm going to set this down, come out to here. Is that right? Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, so sorry. Okay, so I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. Set this down, turn to your right. If the right foot forward, you're turning to the right. Sorry. All right. If the left hand is on top, you're going to lift the left hand or left foot, set it down and turn to your left. Oops. Okay. So everyone makes mistakes, you guys. So that's good. Just in case you thought I didn't make mistakes, I certainly do. Everyone does. Even the Tai Chi masters. You know, if you look at the masters, they certainly make their share of mistakes. It's not my job to point them out, but everyone's human, right? Okay, a couple more. I'll try to go a little smoother. Right hand up, right foot up. Right foot down, turn to my right. I'll do one more. Scoop that right hand under, so you're holding the ball with the left hand on top. That means the left foot comes up, and it means you set it down and turn to your left. So again, we'll do the thing that we've been doing. I should have mentioned it before. Remember, hold your balance as long as you can. And then when you're going to lose your balance, you may as well just say, this is my time to come down. And then do it as gracefully as possible. Maybe hide the fact that you lost your balance and just come to here. So if I was going to do this with less balance, I would go here, 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 See? Something like that. A little smoother. And I'm feeling a lot of twisting. I love this. This is great. And my quadriceps are really getting a good workout today. A variation is not looking back. And this is more martial. If this is a martial movement, it would just be all forward, all business, right? So here, here, and then this would be maybe a strike instead. So this is from our Pao Chui form, which I've never showed you before. It goes like that. And this is a kick, and then when you drop down far, boom, that's a strike to the you-know-what. And anyway, but don't worry about that. Don't even rewind that and do that. Don't do that, because we want to stick with the unicorn. But one more thing. This is one of those movements that is broken down into Zhan Zhuang, or holding postures, quite often. So we already said, start here with your right hand on top, and so the right foot comes up, and you could hold this as a balance for as long as you please. And then you can step this out crooked, shift your weight, sink and twist, come out to here, hold this just for as long as you like. And just one more time. And you could probably find some others. And then just for fun, from here, just for fun, feel the difference by changing only one thing, from looking back to looking forward to the side of your palm. Don't look right at your hand. Okay. Okay, so I'm looking to the left of my hand. Okay, let's try that again. So left hand on top, that means left foot up. This is our balance that we're holding just for fun in a standing posture, static posture. And then we set that foot down, shift the weight, twist left, and hold this for as long as you feel like. But just changing, and I'm going to twist enough so that this hand is left of center, and when I look forward, just feel how a whole energy changes looking forward. And I'm not looking right at my hand. I'm looking to, in this case, I'm looking to the right of my hand. Okay, good. Excellent. Woo! That's a workout, right? That's great. I think we've done enough. Let me check and see. I believe that's enough for one day or 1 week. Okay, lifting water. Remember, this is our gauge to tell us, because we know what this feels like. This tells us how we're doing today, right? I wouldn't be surprised if your legs are a little shaky. That's good. So our closing quote, although you can ponder it in many ways, I look at it from a Tai Chi standpoint. It's applicable to everything, but in Tai Chi, I look at it as being, don't get too obsessed with the minutia of the movements. The purpose of the movements is to feel the energy and to feel your body. And if you get so into the correctness of the movements or the am I doing it right, am I doing it wrong, then you begin to ignore the body itself. So, and of course this Confucius proverb was not written just about Tai Chi, but that's my interpretation of it for Tai Chi. And the proverb is, unless you already peeked at the video description. The proverb is, when wise man points at the moon, foolish man looks at his finger, right? So it's a great, when wise man points at the moon, foolish man looks at his finger. And thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, if you've been able to manage it. And thanks for telling other people. And thanks for your interest. Thanks for practicing repeatedly during the week, if you can manage that too. And it's good for you. Do as much as you can. But don't worry about it if you can't. And we will see you in 1 week for sure.